My people, listen to today's own closely. What I am about to share is not a tale of fiction, but a serious testimony I heard last Sunday at church. Oh, they say, be careful what you pray for. But the woman in this story, Sister Adana, didn't just pray carelessly. She edited God's blueprint with her own desires, adding specifications as if placing an order on a menu. And what her customized prayer delivered to her doorstep nearly finished her. Adana was 35. In our society, that age for a woman without a ring is a label as too choosy. Career woman who forgot to find a husband. But the truth was, Adana was a prize. She was very good looking, always impeccably dressed in attires that made people turn to look at her big backside. She was a senior marketing manager at Atlantis Corporations. She owned her apartment in Lekki, drove a sleek SUV, was a devout, spirit-filled Christian, and her tithe was paid like clockwork. The problem was not her, it was the men. Every suitor had an excuse. One found her too independent, another confessed she was intimidatingly complete. Imagine a man rejecting a woman because she was too successful. She remained single, a bridesmaid 17 times over. Her mother's pitiful eyes at Christmas asked the silent, aching question, Adana, my daughter, what are we still waiting for? The shame, the weariness was a heavy cloak she carried everywhere. Then came the sermon that changed everything. One Sunday, her pastor delivered a powerful message on the power of focused prayer, urging the congregation to abandon scattered wishes and pray with direction. For those seeking a spouse, he gave a strict assignment: a 3-day dry fast, no food, no water, from Sunday night to Wednesday morning, to press specifically for the will of God. Not your own will, not your spec, not your preference. The pastor boomed. But the will of God. Pray for a God-fearing man who will love you, cherish you, and lead you in the ways of the Lord. Adana wrote the instructions down, ready to obey. 3-day dry fast. God's will. God-fearing man. That Sunday night, at 11:45 p.m., she knelt down to begin. But as she started to pray for God's will, her mind began to wander, reviewing her life. Her job, her achievements, her apartment, her car. She already had provision. Suddenly, a thought, sharp and tempting, cut through her concentration. I don't need a provider. I am already providing for myself. What I need is a man who can perform. A man who is romantic, who will make me feel loved and cherished in a way I've missed. I don't need another boss or CEO. I need a lover. And just like that, Adana committed the error that would cost her years of peace. She changed the prayer. Father, I am not praying for a rich man or a provider. I have provision. What I need, Lord, is a man who can truly do. A man who will do me the do in the bedroom, who will never get tired of showing me love. A man whose only job is to love me romantically, passionately, and completely. Send me a man who can do. This became her chant for 3 days. She fasted, she wept, she prostrated, pressing with all her might, not for God's will, but for her want. When she broke the fast on Wednesday morning, a profound shift settled over her spirit. She was certain her husband was on the way, since God no day disappoint. 2 weeks later, she met him. His name was Obinna, tall, dark, handsome, and with a quiet, gentle demeanor. A freelance graphic designer, he was neither rich nor poor, owning a small place in Surulere and driving a Vitz car. But the moment Adana saw him at a friend's birthday party, an undeniable spark ignited. When he approached her and with sincere eyes said, "Excuse me, you are very beautiful. Can I know you?" She felt the confirming jolt. This is him. Obinna was the epitome of romance. He called every morning, afternoon, and evening. So much so that even MTN was tired. He sent sweet messages all day, wrote her poems, and bought her flowers everything she had prayed for in her edited version. He never spoke of money or connections. His focus was purely on her happiness. Adana, I just want to make you happy. That's all I want in life, he would say. Her friends raised cautious flags. Adana, he doesn't seem ambitious. Freelance graphic design? Is that a stable job? But Adana was deaf to their warnings. I don't need his money. I need his love, and this man loves me, she insisted. 6 months later, they were married. Adana paid for the majority of the beautiful wedding, but she didn't care. Obinna looked at her at the altar like she was a celestial being, weeping as he recited his vows. Adana, I promise to love you every single day of my life. I will never leave you, never neglect you. My body, my time, my energy, and everything is yours. People were deeply touched, but no one realized that Obinna intended to honor those vows literally. The honeymoon, meant to be sweet, quickly turned into a relentless service. Obinna was tireless, gentle, and utterly dedicated to his mission. Adana was initially in heaven, thinking, God has truly answered me. By the third day, however, she woke up profoundly sore, and the dedication continued morning, afternoon, evening. Her joy was beginning to curdle into exhaustion. Subscribe to Stories of Africa if you are still here. Let's continue. By the fourth day of the honeymoon, Adana could barely walk straight. When she suggested going sightseeing, Obinna smiled sweetly. Why do we need to go outside when I have everything I need right here? Upon returning to Lagos, Adana hoped life would revert to a normal, balanced schedule. She was wrong. Obinna's freelance work was mostly online and could be completed quickly. He worked from home, and the rest of his day was dedicated to waiting for her. Every evening, Adana would drag herself home, exhausted from meetings, traffic, and corporate pressure. She would open the door, ready to collapse, only to find Obinna standing there, smiling, with soft music playing. Welcome home, my queen, he would say. Adana's heart would sink. Obinna, baby, I'm tired. I need to rest, she would plead. Don't worry, my love, he'd whisper. Just lie down. I'll take care of you. Morning before work, he needed to send her off. She'd make excuses for lunch, but the moment she walked in the door at night, it was on. Even her feigned sleep was no defense. He would gently wake her up. My love, are you sleeping? Okay, just a quick one. And his quick one was always an hour, minimum. An hour, oh my people. Adana began to waste away. She was perpetually exhausted, her performance at work plummeting. Her boss questioned her former sharp focus, now replaced by nodding off in meetings. She couldn't confess. Sir, my husband won't let me sleep. She tried reasoning with Obinna. Baby, marriage is a marathon, not a sprint. He'd hold her hand, eyes filled with innocent love. My queen, I just love you so much. I can't help myself. She tried scheduling. How about 4 times a week? Obinna looked heartbroken. 4 times? How will I survive? Desperate, she tried staying in the office until 10 p.m., hoping he'd be asleep, but he would be awake, waiting with that relentless smile. Months became a year. She survived. But she started avoiding home, volunteering for work trips, and visiting her mother for long weekends, even going to the church, often just to steal a night of rest. By the second year, Adana's body was breaking down. She visited a doctor, complaining of constant exhaustion and body aches. The tests showed she was healthy, but severely exhausted. She couldn't bring herself to tell the doctor the truth. Marriage counseling was no better. When Adana finally broke down in tears, confessing that her husband was too active, the counselor smiled at a proud Obina. Sister, many women are praying for this. You are lucky. In the third year, Adana hit her breaking point, weeping on her living room floor. Father, what did I do wrong? I prayed for a loving husband, and I'm dying from his love. Please, have mercy. Just imagine, ooh, my people. Father suggested they visit a hospital and check if all is well, since enjoyment won't kill her. That night, she told Obina firmly, we need to see a specialist. What you are doing is not normal. Reluctantly, he agreed. They consulted a urologist. 2 weeks later, the diagnosis came. Persistent genital arousal disorder combined with hyperactive libido syndrome. That kind of plenty jargon. A rare medical condition where the body produces excessive levels of hormones, constantly sending signals to do more. It's not your fault, Mr. Obina. It is also the reason you have not been able to give birth yet. You see, too much of everything is bad, the doctor explained. It's biological, but it is manageable. Adana nearly shouted, Hallelujah. Holding Obina's hand, she assured him, Baby, it's okay. We will get through this. Obina started medication, therapy, and joined a support group. Slowly, the relentless drive reduced. He channeled his immense energy into his graphics design work, even securing a part-time job at an agency. For the first time in 8 years, Adana could breathe. The most crucial change, however, was in Adana herself. One evening, Adana finally confessed. Obina, when I prayed for you, I didn't pray the right prayer. I prayed for my own will, a man who would only be focused on me. God gave me exactly what I asked for, without balance or wisdom. Obina smiled gently. Adana, I am not angry. Maybe God used your selfish prayer to bring us together, and He used this situation to teach both of us a lesson. He defined the lesson. Love is not just passion, it is also patience, understanding, and balance. Adana agreed, wiping her tears. I learned to pray God's will, not mine, because God sees the full picture. Today, after 10 years, Adana and Obina are still married with 4 healthy children. Their marriage is balanced, healthy, and beautiful. Adana often testifies, when you pray, pray God's will, not your spec, not your type, but His will, and always have good medical insurance. The story of the doing husband serves as a powerful reminder. Be careful what you pray for. Even good things, when too much, become a burden. Seek God's wisdom, not your want. Naso this Sunday went. In case I hear any gist I will drop here, so please subscribe. And see you next week.